In any budget, there are winners and losers. One of the big winners, federal MPs who get an extra $160 million collectively to each hire an extra staff member to cope with the demands of social media and increasing workloads. This after former staffer Sally Rugg and Monique Ryan settled their court case over unreasonable hours for $100,000 earlier this week. But one group who has now drawn the short straw is our veterans. Soldier On, the Australian National Support Service charity that serves our veteran community, has had their budget slashed by the federal government. They say it affects their ability to provide meaningful education, mental health support and disability support to thousands of Australian heroes. The chairman of Soldier On, Peter Leahy, joins me now. Peter, thank you very much for your time this evening. How much funding are you going to lose in this budget?
It's $1.5 million over 4 years. So previously we've received $6 million over the 4 years. That's not to be continued now. So it's $1.5 million each year. It's a major disappointment, and it will have a quite dramatic impact on the services and support that we can provide to our veteran community.
Were you given any reason by the federal government for why they've taken your funding away?
Well, we had quite some discussions, and I'd give the Minister some credit that about 2 weeks ago we started discussions, but it's gone. It appears that the Department of Veterans Affairs is establishing its own program, and our concern in that is that that will take some time to get up and running. We've currently got about 7,000 people who are using what we call the Pathways program, which is pathways out of the military and into the civilian world, but predominantly about getting them employment or getting employment for their spouse or someone else in the family so that they can continue in the community. Some of the people who come to us are troubled by their military experiences. Most of them are not. And they're really good people for employers to get a hold of. They bring the skills from the military. They bring a sense of purpose, a sense of really wanting to do something for their community. But with the loss of $1.5 million a year, we're going to have to adjust our program, adjust it in terms of its scope, but also adjust it in terms of its geographic spread. So
Look,
right now we're scrambling a little bit.
It's not just a matter of, an organisation that gets funding taken away from it. As you say, you support veterans, you give them a sense of purpose, you help them find a reason to get up every day. We know mental health, PTSD is a really serious issue in this community. Veteran suicide has been, just devastating. So this is really important. This withdrawal of funding could have serious impacts.
It certainly could, and I think the fact that we've got a Royal Commission into veteran suicide running at the moment, we've seen their interim report, and it's given us some ideas of what needs to be done, and we're starting to hear that the Royal Commission, which will report in June of next year, is considering the importance of community-based programs rather than government-provided programs. And we think that the support that we provide to about 7,000 people, the support that we're getting from our pledge partners, that is employers right across Australia who have said, hey, we want to have a look at those people who are leaving the military. We think they've got something to offer. It's going to make it difficult for us to do that. And so we would say to our pledge partners, we want to continue doing this. Like you, we think it's important. It's important for the individuals and their families and also for the employers. So we want to build that sense of community. And frankly, right now, with the government support gone, we're asking support from our pledge partners and the general community to fill the gap.
Just, Peter, before you go, when you hear that the government's given $159 million so politicians can get another staff member when their staff teams are already so bloated, and yet $159 million, but they've taken away your funding, $1.5 million, how does that make you feel?
Well, we're disappointed. Government will make their own decisions, and we'd just like to, we already have pointed out the impact this would have, but I'd like government to just think about, well, this is really going to have an impact on our veterans who've fought for us, who've worked for us, and with this scourge of suicide out there, we want to make sure that there isn't a gap as it appears. So we're willing to work with government.
Yeah.
We're going to look for other ways that we could get support from government. But I think more broadly, and with what we're seeing as a collapse in fundraising generally across the country, we're looking for support from the community, from our pledge partners. And if people want to help, I'd say soldieron.org.au, and we'd love to talk to you.
All right. Well, Peter Leahy, thank you for the work you do, and we'll keep raising this issue.